This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hi, I'm going to be playing against Reid Duke today. The matchup is going to be Red-Black Goblins versus Blue-White Miracles. I talked to Cedric Phillips a bit about Goblins before putting this list together, and it seems pretty solid. He's been testing it quite a bit on his stream, so I've been trusting his judgment a bit more than mine. A few deviations from normal Goblins lists are adding Tarfire, 2 Mogg Fanatic, Skirk Prospector, 2 Worn Weirding, and only playing 1 Goblin Piledriver and 3 Gempalm Incinerators. He cut the 4th Warchief for a Goblin Chieftain, just as another, a different hasty guy, because sometimes it's better than Warchief. Besides that, Tuktuk Scrapper, Sharpshooter, and Wort and Siege Gang are the other bullets that are pretty important. Wort is for grinding out matchups like Green-White and Rug, since it's basically about just having more answers than they have threats. Siege Gang's pretty good at killing creatures or them. It's pretty good with Sharpshooter as well. Sharpshooter used to be a primary focus of Goblins decks in the past. During block, it was basically a 4-of, essentially, because it comboed with Patriarch Spitting, but this is a bit different beast than that to be doing that. Tarfire is just a tutorable removal spell that only costs 1 mana as opposed to 2. It's good at killing Delver on site if you needed to, or Grim Lavamancer, or Mother of Runes, or whatever. Whereas Weirding is good at killing big knights, big Tarmogoyfs, and so forth. Gempalm used to always be a 4-of, but it's kind of awkward to kill a knight or a mongoose or a scavenging ooze with it. In the sideboard we have 4 Cabal Therapy for combo matchups, 3 Perish for Green-White and Rug, the 4th Gempalm. Piledriver is basically for combo and control decks only, although it's not even that good versus most control decks because they kill all of your guys. Another Stingscourger and Worn Weirding, and 2 Pyrokinesis for mirrors, and maybe Green-White if you want it versus them. I think Goblins is somewhat of a misunderstood deck in that it's very good at grinding people out in long games, so you don't have to just try to instantly beat them down every game, which is why Piledriver is not really that necessary. In fact, this happened before during Onslaught Block Constructed. People figured out that Piledriver just sucked versus almost everything, and just started boarding it out in a lot of matchups. Also, it's reasonable to note that there are 4 Wastelands and 4 Rishadan Port, so I don't really like going below 24 lands, since 8 of them are essentially spells. And plus, you need a bunch of red sources and a few black sources for your board cards especially. So to that end, we have 7, 10 black sources for Weirding and the other black cards, as well as another 3 black sources for Wort, because you're always going to name Goblin with Cavern of Souls. Cavern is fine. I'm not super impressed with it, but I think it's worth playing some number. I could see 2 being correct, but I'm going to try 3 because that's what Cedric originally had for now. I don't like to tinker too much when I haven't played a deck in quite a while. I think mana disruption is going to be huge in this matchup. I believe Reid still likes land tax, so trying to just completely mana screw him might not be a easy thing to do, but Rishadan Port is still really good versus them. And, like, he'll probably not try to fetch too many basics with his fetches, because that makes his land tax worse. An uncounterable Lackey on turn 1, or Vial on turn 1, is probably going to give him a lot of fits. And, like, Terminus, while, yes, it quote-unquote kills all of your guys, you can still search them back up with Matron if he's, like, killing Ringleaders and stuff. So that's important to note. I'm going to try my very best to not get Wort plowed, because it seems really good versus him as well. So Lackey's important. Fanatic kind of sucks here. Prospector is, like, okay. Weirding is garbage versus him as a Stingscourger, because he has, like, no creatures except for Entreat the Angels. And honestly, if he's entreated for, like, 2 or 3, I've probably lost the game, or I'm in really bad shape. So, for post-board games, I'm probably boarding out Gempalm Incinerators, Tarfire, for 4 Cabal Therapy, 3 Piledriver. I'm also probably boarding out the Weirdings and these 2 as well. The Mogg War Marshal / Stingscourger, because they're pretty low impact versus him. For the 4 therapies, 2 drivers essentially. Scrapper can stay, although, like, I'm trying to remember what else is in his exact list. Although he's probably changed a bunch of things, so you can't really just look at their old list and just assume it'll be the same, like, 2 weeks later. That's a very dangerous thing to do. You just have to try to figure out how he would evolve his deck. On turn 1, if I'm on the play with Therapy, I think I probably just name Sensei's Divining Top, because it's the best card in their deck to do everything. It sets up all of their miracles, it helps them recover from other Cabal Therapies, and, like, it's just really good in his deck. It's, like, the best card. So now we have match 1, Goblins vs. Miracles. No filter. God damn it, I hate this bug. I hope that loaded the right deck. We'll find out. As you can see, like, sometimes the filter gets crazy and it's hard to tell. Alright, good. I clicked on the right one. So here, my play should be Badlands Vial. Yeah, Badlands Vial. Let's see what his turn 1 is. Reid also likes to play Daze, so actually if I draw a Lackey, I'll probably just play that on turn 1 off Cavern. We'll see though. Nope, keep this hand. Land tax, alright. Definitely, so now the situation has actually kind of changed, I think. I don't really want to play another land, so I want to play Cavern naming Goblin. And so there's a few reasons for this. If I draw a Lackey, it will be uncounterable, and I can just skip land drops to keep pace with his land tax, essentially. Explosives for 1. Alright, that's perfectly fine. Well, I mean, not perfectly fine, but something that's going to happen. Don't really want him to tax here, so we can wait. He has to kill his own land tax to stop the vial. 2. I'm going to discard this Worn Weirding, which is pretty dead versus him anyways. Alright, so now we have some decisions. I think it's still correct to just discard a Gempalm Incinerator because it's pretty dead versus him. The real question is, what should I do with my Vial on 3? He's in a... Alright, so he finally broke the standstill. I think I'm just going to put Warchief into play and see what he does. He might explode here, actually, which is perfectly fine with me. Yep. Alright, now we play Cavern, I think. No, we want red sources, actually. I'm gonna Matron. Alright, so we have a few decisions here. I think I am going to get... So, I'm considering Piledriver, another Warchief. Well, basically those are the two. I think it's actually right to get Warchief, because it's likely he'll Brainstorm Terminus this turn. Swords, yeah, that's to be expected. Alright, name Goblin. Let's play another Warchief. I'm just tapping my caverns for mana first. Okay, so he's putting a Terminus back on top, which is slightly annoying, but not the end of the world. Get him for another 3. I really want to draw Port versus him. Oh, maybe he doesn't have Terminus on top. Nope, another Swords. 2 swords, explosives down. He probably has 3 Terminus in his main. Jace? Oh, that's kind of awkward. Fates to himself. Solid play. Wouldn't expect any less from him. I think it's just right to ignore Jace and try to kill him. So that's the plan. Terminus or Entreat? Okay. This is not ideal. Really needed to draw land at some point. Have to get a Warchief, essentially. Entreat the Angels? Alright, well, it's probably gonna kill us here, barring something amazing. Trade for 3. I guess we have a small out if he really messes up. I don't think he will. Oh, should tap that. So I'm going to play a driver this turn. If he messes up by attacking with all of his guys, we could potentially kill him. I mean, he probably won't, but it's better to play for that out than nothing at all. Top, activate top. Let's see. Fates heal himself, so he doesn't like that card. Are we taking 12? Are we taking 4? Right, crack, fetch, another Badlands. I guess I try to kill him? One sec. I'm trying to figure out how likely it is he has a third plow. No, I'm gonna declare attackers first. Then cycle Gempalm to kill his thing. Like, it seems... Okay, so he's Terminus? Or he's a plow? Alright, well, that makes his play a little bit strange. I guess... I mean, the 7 life is actually pretty relevant here, I think. Also, he can't block now. Alright, so that happens. Let's see what I draw. Land, which is actually pretty reasonable here. Ringleader. Lackey and a Stingscourger, which is actually pretty good. Play a Lackey. I mean, I'm just pretending he doesn't have a Terminus here too, because I don't think I can really win otherwise. He has 6 cards to go through. It's possible I should have sandbagged one of them, but actually I almost certainly should have. Whoops. Terminus. Yep. This game developed very strangely. Trinket Mage for explosives or top. Or, I guess Relic, potentially. Because this is... Goblin. Let's hope this fatty kills him. So, like, he has to kill this guy, otherwise he dies. Because I just gang him, untap gang him 3 more times. He's used 3 Sword Splashers, although another explosives would do it, as of course Terminus would do it too. Goblins has a remarkable amount of staying power in these sorts of situations. I did draw a bunch of things due to Ringleader, although it's kind of hard to tell. Oh, he found what he needed? I guess it happens. What? So I gang him with a Goblin token, I think. No. Just gonna keep ramming it in there. Nothing else I can do. For 6? Alright, I guess that kills me. That was unfortunate, but not entirely unexpected after he cast all of those removal spells. Alright, let's get some bad cards out and some real cards in. Or, they're not bad, they're just not good in this matchup. Let's see, Scourger's fine. This is the setup I want. I might leave in the War Marshal. Actually, Scrapper doesn't actually it does something. I have plenty of other shitty guys to sack if I want to. But yeah, I like this board plan. Cut these 7 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 drivers and 4 therapy. Let's get down to it. Alright, I like this hand. I might just therapy him on turn 1 for Sensei's Divining Top. Get more info. I think I'm going to do that. And then turn 2 is therapy plus Lackey. Thinking about his hand, or just thinking about what land drops to play. So a lot of higher level players will just think about their land drops while pretending whether, or while deciding whether or not to keep their hand or not. It's a valuable skill, especially in the olden days when you played Domain Zoo. You had to think about which fetch land to play, then which land to fetch with which fetch land, essentially. Because, like, it would be very easy to shoot yourself in the foot. Though apparently he's having a lot of trouble keeping a hand. I'm still gonna therapy Sensei's Divining Top, I think. Can't imagine there's really a better name here. Sensei's Divining Top. No, Strand, Island, Jace, Tundra. He really had to keep that hand anyways. I don't think him going to 3 would be a better hand. There's no real reason to therapy him for Jace here. I can wait like 2 more turns before doing that. Island, Strand, so Jace Tundra. Now we attack him and hope it connects. So he drew a plow. Path. So Goblins is actually pretty good with extra lands here. Yeah, this is fine. Because, like, we can use the mana very well. We have a bunch of expensive things in our deck. Trinket Mage? That's sort of awkward. Yeah, it's top. So his hand is top Jace Tundra. So I'm gonna Warchief plus Stingscourger. Put down Matron. find Ringleader. Flashback Therapy, sacking Stingscourger. I think I named top? It's pretty close whether I named top or Jace. Yeah, I think I named top because it's the only way you can really access a Terminus like quickly. Trinket, Jace. As I was saying, like, top really does it all in his deck, so... Trinket Mage. Alright, what do you got? So his hand's Jace Tundra now. Hold on, while I go with my tech. I think this might kill him. So it's 9. He blocks there. It's 9 plus 4 is 13, so he's dead. Yep, he takes 13. So he mulligans to 4 and we have a reasonable draw. He gets him killed. Still don't really... Mogg War Marshal might have been better than Stingscourger there, although... Nah. I think this is fine. I'll keep this hand too. I think most of the time in this matchup is just correct to ignore Jace. Killing a Jace doesn't do that much. I mean, it does, but like you're giving up a bunch of damage to do it. Alright. Don't think I can really afford to therapy him on turn 1, so I'm just gonna ram it out. He might have to top during his upkeep. Or not. That's unfortunate. I think trying to mana screw him when he has top out is extremely greedy, so I'm just not going to do that. If he misses a land drop like he did there, it might be worth it, but I think the way my hand is set up, it's probably still not worth it. I am going to therapy for, I think, just therapy, well, now all bets are off. I was going to therapy for Brainstorm, but I think I'm going to therapy for Trinket Mage. Kind of doesn't matter what I name. Path, Terminus, Jace, huh? Eh. He drew a land. Is it a fetch? It's a fetch. It's really good for him. Alright. We're gonna cast a Ringleader. I have to really get something going on here. And I don't think he actually leaves in too many counters versus me. Alright, well, we found some goblins, boys. Alright, we found a Rishadan Port. So, I'm going to attack him first and see what he does. Wasteland Tundra. I should have wasted inside my combat step in case if he is playing like counterspell or something. I think I'm just fine. Alright, let's see. Could therapy him for path and play Lackey. Which I actually think might be right. I'm gonna see what that leads to. I have to find Path to Exile. Alright, there it is. Oh, he has a... It's kind of awkward. Brainstorm. Swords, Terminus, Jace. Alright. No Lackey. I'm gonna tap his fetch. So like, if he doesn't crack it here, then I get to Wasteland it on my turn. And that single blue mana doesn't really do that much for him. So he's probably going to get a Plains. Kind of confused while he's just plowing main phase. He doesn't really have to. Brainstorm, Terminus, Jace. Badlands. Play Ringleader. Aether Sharpshooter. So, okay. I can just play another. So he can Terminus whenever he wants. If I draw another red source, I can kind of make that a moot point. I'm just gonna play Ringleader and see what he does. Blue Elemental Blast. Alright. Oboro. I was supposed to port him during my upkeep, which is extremely awkward. Well, no I wasn't. I only do that if I know I'm going to draw a red source. Just going to nickel and dime him with this lone goblin. Play this Sharpshooter he knows about. Yeah. He can't ever really commit to Jace because, like, there's a good chance he'll just die. Alright, so during my upkeep I'll port him. So 3, 2, 2. I'm gonna try to kill him. Oh, that doesn't work. Fuck. I guess I can... No, I can put him to 1, play Therapy, flash it back, and then he's dead. So it does work. So he hit a miracle on top, but it doesn't really matter. I'll just name Terminus, but it doesn't really matter. Flashback. Yeah, that wasn't like the game was so awkward for Reid, just not drawing lands. But I think it might be kind of a function of the way his particular Miracles deck is built, because he's land taxing. So yeah, it's very hard for him to get anything going when he's that mana screwed. So land tax gets 3 lands out of his deck, yes. The problem is, like, you still have to hit. If you don't draw land tax, which can happen, or if you don't leave them in, like, which is potentially possible, because he saw the way I played in game 1, which meant I was just willing to stay there and do nothing for quite a while. Land tax could be extremely awkward to draw. At the same time, his deck only has 20 lands or so I think that is a very huge problem in games, especially like that one.